Welcome to Essential Biz Marketing. In this chapter, we explore how companies make buying decisions in business markets and why those decisions differ from consumer behavior. We'll define what business markets are and how they differ from consumer markets in terms of purpose, scale, and relationships. We'll identify the key factors that influence business buyer behavior, from internal company goals to external forces like technology and the economy. We'll outline the major steps in the business buying process, showing how organizations move from recognizing a need to evaluating performance. We'll examine how online, mobile, and social platforms have changed B2B marketing, making interactions faster, data-driven, and more personalized. We'll compare institutional and government markets, explaining how they differ in priorities, structure, and decision-making processes. Shifting from learning objectives to a real-world example, let's look at how LinkedIn demonstrates B2B marketing in action. LinkedIn is the world's leading platform for business-to-business marketing, connecting over 800 million professionals across industries and countries. Beyond serving users, LinkedIn also markets its own advertising tools, such as Campaign Manager, helping brands target business audiences through data-driven insights. Companies like American Express and Utah State University have successfully used LinkedIn campaigns to reach key decision-makers and generate measurable results. By focusing on long-term relationship building rather than quick conversions, LinkedIn demonstrates how trust and professional credibility drive B2B marketing success. Now that we've seen LinkedIn in action, let's turn to the foundation of business markets and how organizations buy and sell to one another. In business markets, organizations buy goods and services to produce other products, resell to others, or support their operations. These exchanges form the foundation of B2B commerce. Unlike consumer markets, business markets involve fewer but larger buyers, longer relationships, and derived demand based on end customer needs. For example, Goodyear sells tires not only to consumers but also directly to automakers, highlighting how one company can operate in both B2C and B2B spaces. Moving from general market definitions to deeper analysis, let's explore the key characteristics that distinguish business markets from consumer ones. Business markets typically have fewer but larger buyers, and their demand is often derived from the needs of final consumers. These relationships are long-term and high-value. The buying unit in business markets is usually a professional procurement team that evaluates suppliers, quality standards, and cost-effectiveness before making decisions. Business purchasing decisions tend to be more formal and collaborative, focusing on reliability and partnership rather than short-term price advantages. Having outlined the structural traits of business markets, let's look at the main factors that influence how organizations actually make buying decisions. Inside each firm, multiple participants share responsibility for decisions. The buying center includes users, influencers, buyers, deciders, and gatekeepers who coordinate the process. Beyond internal dynamics, external forces such as economic conditions, technological change, government regulation, and cultural norms strongly shape organizational buying behavior. Even emotional and brand factors matter. Truck buyers often favor brands like Peterbilt because their image symbolizes strength and professional pride. After examining what influences organizational buyers, let's see how different buying situations shape the process itself. In a straight rebuy, a company routinely reorders a product or service without modification, an efficient and low-risk transaction based on established trust. A modified rebuy occurs when the buyer wants to adjust specifications, prices, or suppliers, leading to re-evaluation and negotiation within the buying center. A new task situation is the most complex, involving extensive research, multiple approvals, and long decision cycles as the organization purchases something for the first time. In systems or solutions selling, firms seek long-term partners who can design integrated offerings, turnkey packages rather than isolated products. Now that we've seen different buying situations, let's look closer at who actually makes those decisions inside the organization. The buying center is a group of people within the organization who share common goals and take part in the purchase decision-making process. It typically includes 5 roles: users, influencers, buyers, deciders, and gatekeepers, each contributing distinct information and authority to the final choice. The influence of each role varies depending on the organization's structure, culture, and the importance of the purchase. Having identified who participates in the buying process, let's now examine the steps those participants follow when making a purchase decision. The business buying process usually includes 8 stages, from problem recognition and general need description to supplier selection and performance review. Compared with consumer decisions, business buying is more formal, involves more participants, and often includes detailed specifications and multiple approvals. The process also varies by situation. New task purchases require far more evaluation than routine rebuys, which rely on established procedures. To succeed, marketers must engage early in this process, provide reliable information, and build partnerships that influence decisions over time. As we wrap up this chapter, let's review the key ideas that define how business markets operate and how organizations make buying decisions. Business markets differ from consumer markets in purpose, scale, and relationship depth. They involve fewer but larger buyers and long-term exchanges. Multiple factors influence buyer behavior: internal roles, external environments, and emotional or brand considerations that affect professional choices. The buying process follows 8 structured stages, from recognizing needs to reviewing performance, requiring formal coordination among participants. Digital transformation reshapes B2B marketing through online platforms, mobile access, and social tools that accelerate information flow and collaboration. Institutional and government markets operate under stricter procedures and budget controls, emphasizing transparency, regulation, and long-term accountability. Understanding how organizations buy provides the foundation for designing effective B2B marketing strategies and building lasting business partnerships. Thank you for watching.